Hey kids, welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 3, Column Major Traversals, Exercise number 4. We have a choose your own adventure. In Lesson 2, I did dog breeds. Since this one is almost identical, except we're switching the rows and columns in our loop, I'm going to do B dog breeds. Again, though, all 4 solutions are pretty similar. I'll let you jump in and see what we have to do. A family is trying to decide on which dog breed to adopt. They want to choose a dog breed that is less than or equal to 20 inches tall. They have the following values. We have some numbers right there, where each row represents a beagle, a Dalmatian, a golden retriever, and a pug. Each column is the minimum height and maximum height for each dog, respectively. In dogdata.java, we're going to write the method findHeight to find the dog breed with the minimum height and the dog breed with the maximum height that is less than or equal to 20. Then we're going to print each value that meets that criteria. If the value is less than or equal to max height and the column is 0, print the corresponding name of the breed with the breeds based on the row that the value is found. The value found, and it is the minimum height. And then if a value is less than or equal to the max height and the column is 1, we're going to print the corresponding name of the breed from the breeds based on the row that the value is found. And the value found and the max height. Then we have a little hint down here. Take a look at our code. We have 2 arrays. One of them is a 1D. The second is a 2D. The 1D is our dog names. The 2D is our list from over here. We're instantiating a new object, myDogs, from the dogdata class, and we're passing along our 2 arrays. myDogs is calling the findHeight method, and it is passing along 20. Well, let's take a look at dogdata. Over in dogdata, we have our 2 arrays, our 1D breeds, our 2D data. We have our constructor taking those 2 arrays as parameters. And then we have an area to write our method for findHeight. Again, kids, this is going to be almost exactly like the lesson 2 code we wrote, except on this one, we're just going to have columns on the outside for a column major traversal instead of row major traversal. How are we going to write it? First thing I'm going to do is write out my 4 statements. This is going to be my outer 4. And I want to look through the column major. So that means int column equals 0 as long as the columns is less than the data. And we want to look through the columns. So we are going to specify the index 0. Remember, we don't deal with jagged arrays. This could be any number within the length of the data array. And then we're just going to tell it to go through the length. As long as we are under that, we're going to progress through the array. I'm going to write my inner 4 statement. And in here, we want to go through our rows. So int row equal 0 as long as the row is less than the data length. We're going to go through the array. Just like in lesson 2, I want to say whatever element we're at in the data array, so data, row, and column, as long as that's less than the max height, and we're at the column we're supposed to be at, then we're going to print off the breeds at row, and then the array data at the row and column we're at. Means we need an if statement to curly cues. And we're going to say wherever at in our array, in our row, in column, as long as that is less than or equal to our max height, and we are at column 0. And remember, that's down here from this statement right here. As long as that is being met, well, we want to tell the user. So we're going to do a print statement, system.out.println, and we're going to say the breeds at whatever row we're at. Then we're going to do our plus concatenation. And a space, concatenate again. Then we want to say whatever point we're at within that array data at the row and column. I also want to tell the user what we're printing off. So we're going to concatenate again, and we're going to say minimum height. So this is the minimum height. And that's our first if. Now we're in column 1. So we're going to say if. And the same thing, the data at whatever row and column we're at, as long as that is less than or equal to the max height, and we're on column 1, then we're going to print off the breeds again in whatever row we're at. Then we're going to concatenate, do our little colon with a space, and then we're going to tell the user whatever number we're at the data array in the row and column. This time we're going to tell it not minimum height, we are now on maximum height. Then we should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks pretty good. Let's just clean this up just a little. This is our end of class. Again, almost identical to the code that we wrote in lesson 2. And all that's doing is just going through the different columns and printing off the max and min height for each one under the number we're passing along. What number are we passing along? It's going to be 20. When I hit run, I should get that printed off down here. Let's just check our data real quick, make sure rows are spelled right, columns spelled right. That all looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit run, see if we have any spelling errors to fix. There we go. We got our numbers to print off. Looks like we have some spelling errors here. Should be minimum height. And really, we should give ourselves a space here too. It's kind of crowding everything. We're getting our breed printed off at whatever row, and that was our 1D array. And then we're getting our min and max under 20, that row and column. Let's just hit run, see if that fixes our formatting. Ooh, fixed it for the minimum, didn't fix it for the maximum. That's better. Code looks like it's running pretty good, kids. Key takeaway from this lesson is just further understanding what a column major traversal is. This lesson was identical to lesson 2. This time, though, we went through the columns instead of the rows. Why would we want to look through the columns? Many reasons. Maybe we want to add up test scores of a bunch of students, or the number of pastries a bunch of food trucks sold. Just remember, on the AP CSA exam, they can ask you questions from both row major and column major. Best hint I have to remember this Whatever's on the outer for loop is what it is. If column's on the outside, then it's a column major. If rows are in the inside, it's a row major. Hopefully this video helped you understand column major traversals. As always, kids, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.